Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Alex Kramer. The stock market finishing yesterday in the red after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that the Fed will not cut interest rates over temporary inflation concerns regarding President Trump's tariffs. So the Dow dropping by close to 700 points. The Nasdaq saw a 3% dip following a massive tech sell-off. S&P also falling by 120 points or 2.2%. So here to break that down and a whole lot more, we're going to welcome global business consultant Hilary Fordwich. Hilary, good morning. So nice to see you. So futures were mostly up ahead of the opening bell, but now they seem to be kind of mixed. Hilary, we've seen inflation actually ease in Trump's first two terms in office. What do you make of Powell's prediction, and what do you think we see play out of the market today?
Well, brilliant to be back with you, Alex. A few things here. We need to always remember that there's 10 to 1 in terms of the Federal Reserve being registered Democrats. 93% are registered Democrats. So that's just a fact. And then with regard to Jerome Powell and his comments, he absolutely knows, of course, everybody's paying attention to his comments. I just would like to know, why he wasn't saying more when Biden was pumping millions into the economy. There wasn't more said then, which is rather a pity. But I'm going to go with what the market is actually predicting and pricing out. The market is looking at about a 60% chance that rates will be cut later on in the year in July and June and July. And I think that's far more likely. Right now, I think we just have to hold tight. I previously have quoted before, and I'll quote her again, the Dutch trade minister, Renique Klever. She says, just stay calm. And I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying on this program every day. Just stay calm when it comes to the markets. Right. But one stock that took a massive plunge yesterday was NVIDIA, which fell by around 7%. That, of course, over fears the tariffs could lower demand for semiconductors. Hilary, the sell-off comes after NVIDIA revealed it took a $5.5 billion charge in its first quarter tied to its chip exports. Do you think we see the chip maker make a comeback soon?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, again, this is part of the tumult with the tariffs on again, off again. And also remember that the US government is now taking a greater look at DeepSeek, and they actually have all their licensing, all their chips from NVIDIA. So I think this is affecting other companies as well. And remember, the S&P 500 is far more impacted by the high-tech stocks than it ever was in history. And another thing, let's look at, we've heard about the 75 offers, trade deals that are in the works. Giorgia Meloni, the Italian prime minister, is coming to the US today. And also Japan is looking to do a deal. So Alex, I think we're going to see a very different scenario as soon as a week from now. And last but not least, remember, President Trump has set himself a goal. 90 days, 90 agreements, and we're on track right now.
Yes, I'm glad that you reiterated that, Hilary. But retail sales surging by 1.4% as Americans really try to get ahead on larger purchases ahead of the tariffs. So motor vehicles, they were actually among the top categories Americans were rushing to go spend their money on, with auto sales jumping by 5.3%. Do you think we see spending start to decrease in the coming months?
Well, actually, I think it's a rather interesting question you asked there, Alex. Well, I think also we need to determine who are Democrats and who are Republicans spending like this. Is it that both are? I think so. I think this is Americans voting with their pocketbooks. I think people can say, oh, people are afraid of tariffs. If you know you're going to lose your job tomorrow and the economy is going to plummet, would you be spending? Absolutely not. I think this is actually that Americans who are sensible and voted for President Trump, Americans realize the economy is going to get better and they know they're going to have money in their wallets, which is why they're spending.
That is such a fantastic point. People are speaking with their wallets. Just like you said, I want to reiterate. You said if you thought you were losing your job tomorrow, you would not go out and spend a bunch of money, go out and buy a car, especially. Some fantastic points. Hilary Fordwich, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Pleasure, Alex.